Welcome back to Free to Write, Lesson 6, the biggest mistake a writer can make. The biggest mistake? Really? That's pretty ballsy for me to decide just what the biggest mistake could be, right? I bet you think the biggest mistake is something we covered way back in Lesson 3 on procrastination. After all, wouldn't the biggest mistake a writer can make be to not write? Not necessarily so. In this lesson, I'm going to show why impatience is actually the deadliest foe of the writer. In the course so far, you've mastered time management, and yes, you have cultivated the practice of writing daily. You have opened your eyes, ears, and heart to new ways of looking at things that are no longer cliché, but actually reflect the authentic you. You have given yourself a break and are no longer your harshest critic. You are finding your own voice, a voice that you can believe in. So here we are at impatience. And this is a kind of chutes and ladders thing. Just when you've progressed along the road to recovery from blocks, you slide down the chute of impatience. But don't worry, you don't have to start the game all over. What you have to do is look your impatience in the eye and see it for what it is, own it, and discard it. So let's talk about impatience. Where does it come from? What exactly is it? In my experience, impatience is rooted in fear. Fear of not getting what I want or losing what I have. That fear disguises itself as control. Admit it. Don't you often find yourself micromanaging your writing, editing every sentence and page as you go along, rather than allowing the body of work to complete itself? You probably think you're being a very good writer by doing this. Forgive this graphic analogy, but I personally believe you're like the questionable doctor performing abortions on young women. You're killing the ideas in your story before they have come to term because you're impatient. You want to see results, your results, before their time. Control is like an iron door that clamps shut and keeps the mystery and the miracles of the creative act blocked. When you are controlling your characters, you suck the life out of them. They are mere marionettes doing as they are told, rather than vital beings in their own right who have the ability to surprise and amaze. You may think when you control your plot and dictate its every twist and turn, you're being a very diligent author. You are not. Every time you tell your story where it has to go, you pull the drawbridge up and limit your access to the outside world even more. Controlling people may be productive, but they're bossy and self-absorbed. They don't write good books. When you are acting out of impatience, you're acting out of your ego that tells you your expectations for this work need to be fulfilled. Now, in truth, every piece of writing is a gift from the universe that needs to hear what you have to say. To look on these gems as opportunities for service rather than occasions for self-advancement allows you to take your writing at a slower, more meditative pace. It allows you to grow your stories and poems organically rather than douse your creative work with artificial fertilizers. But if I don't charge ahead and get some things done, someone may steal my idea, you say. I may miss my golden opportunity. That is fear speaking, fear of not getting what you want. I'm not suggesting that you should stop managing your work altogether or that you should settle for poverty as a writer. What I'm suggesting is that you practice patience in your writing, and you will experience much greater results. So if I'm asking you not to be impatient, what does it mean to be patient? It means to have the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. It comes from the Latin word patientia, meaning endurance, submission, quality of suffering. My experience with being patient as a writer is that there is some suffering involved. The off day, which leads me to believe I will never write again, the copious rejections in response to my beloved work, the virtual reins I tie on myself to hold control back. These are some of the ways that I suffer patience as a writer. I waited almost 40 years for my writer's block to lift. 4 years for my first novel to be published. In 4 days, I expect something magical will come. In 4 hours, something better. I'm not just sitting under a banyan tree, eyes closed, breathing, thinking, I'm generally in more of a taffy pull, with my instincts wanting to force me into action as my spirit urges me to stay calm. Patience is a muscular activity. It requires tone and repetition. As I have said, in writing, a lot of patience is required. For me personally, I have to be patient with my physical limitations. I'm not the young girl I used to be. I find that after 4 or 5 hours of work, I'm done. That is my capacity for the day. No matter how many more projects I would like to work on, I have to stop and rest. Which brings me to balance. The perfect antidote for impatience is balance. This sort of goes back to the pie chart you did in Lesson 2. Only that was showing you how you spent your time before. Now I want you to consider how you will choose to spend your time from now on. I can say with absolute assurance that burning the candle at both ends when you're working on a book may get the desired pages completed, but at what price? While you are busy directing the outcome of every character and shoving the plot into shape, what was happening to your health? Were you eating 3 healthy meals a day? Exercising for 20 to 30 minutes daily? Sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night? Bathing? Socializing? Or were you so caught in this image of the tormented artist that you dove in, anchor attached, and drowned yourself in your art? I'm exaggerating, of course, but I do want to put a plug in for maintaining routine. John Irving worked in the morning for several hours and then took a daily 5-mile run. Haruki Murakami works 5 to 6 hours and then swims or runs every day, reads, listens to music, and is in bed by 9. For W.H. Auden, eating, drinking, writing, shopping, crossword puzzles, even the mailman's arrival are all timed to the minute and with accompanying routines. Auden believed that such a precise life was essential to his creativity. What I get out of this and what I want to share with you is that, number 1, impatience is a killer to the artistic life. 2, patience is the antidote. 3, practicing patience means not only withstanding hardship, but also achieving balance in life. 4, balance is manifested through routine. So your homework is to develop a reasonable routine for your daily life. Obviously, we can't all be like W.H. Auden, who adhered to his schedule perfectly. You may find that you need to be a tad more flexible, but don't veer far. One slip from your routine may send you on a bender, and you'll find yourself derailed. If you'd like to share your routines with me, please feel free to do so in the comments section at the end of this lesson. Until next time.